guys, today I'm going to recycle my clay and I'm going to use this plaster board that I made in one of my previous videos. If you still need to make one of these plaster boards to recycle your clay, you can go watch that video up there. I've also got a drill, just a really wimpy power drill with a paint mixer attachment. I'm really actually hoping it's going to work because my power drill is a weenie. And then I've got a big bucket of slop. Total slop. So I'm going to give this a mix, and then I'm basically just going to set it on the slab, and then we're going to check it every few days until it's ready to go. It's a pretty simple process. If you don't feel like making a slab of plaster, you can technically use wood or concrete or anything that's absorbent and also won't get stuck in your clay. But from what I've read, plaster is the best material for absorbing the liquid out of the clay, and it will get it done the quickest. I've also read that it's going to dry out a lot faster depending on where you live, and I live in Texas and it's like August, so it's probably going to go really fast for me, whereas if you were somewhere like, Ontario, it would probably take a lot longer for your clay to dry out. So let's go ahead and get started on this process. This bucket is slip slop, and basically what this is the mixture of water and pieces of clay that have been just kind of like waste pieces as I've been working and building. So that includes pieces that I threw on the wheel until I hated them and just gave up on them and threw them in here. It includes like the pieces that I was trimming off whenever I trim pieces, all those little half-dried spirals. If a piece was drying and you were drying it and it was still greenware and it cracked, you could break that up and throw that in here. Anything basically that hasn't ever been fired or glazed can be put in here. I really wouldn't put anything in here if you put underglaze on it. It might make your recycled clay kind of weird, or at the very least that underglaze is going to mix in, and I mean, maybe if you want it colored, this is the way to do it, but I would use a lot more than just a mistake. So we're going to use our drill here with this paint attachment to give this a good mix, and hopefully my drill can hang. That's about as mixed as that's going to get from my drill. My drill is kind of really wimpy and not very powerful at all. If you've been putting large pieces of clay in here, you might want to get in there and mix it up with your hands before you ask your drill to mix it. It's also just a good idea to kind of continuously do this if you're putting in large pieces so that they break down nice and smooth. So we're just going to take this here and put it onto the slab. If you're needing a paint mixing attachment for your drill, I'm going to go ahead and link one below so that you can find that easily. So now I'm just going to take my clay mixture and I'm going to lay it out on my plasterboard slab nice and even. I want to keep it even so that it dries at a nice even pace. It feels and it looks exactly like chocolate pudding. So after I get this all spread out onto here, I'm going to go ahead and let it sit for about 24 hours and then we'll come back and we'll check on it again. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours since we last put this on the slab, and it is pretty sticky on top. I don't think I can flip it yet. No, it's still too wet, so I'm going to go ahead and give this another day, and then we'll check it again. It's still, pretty much just slippery still. Okay, it's been 2 days, 48 hours. We're going to see if I can flip this over yet. I think maybe if I get a tool, I might be able to flip it. It doesn't look like we can flip it yet. It's still pretty squishy, so we'll give it another day. Day 3, and this is a little more firm, but it's still so gross. Like, I still don't think I can disconnect it from this. Maybe I can. I believe. But I'd like to flip it. No, well, maybe. Let's see. Okay, day 3, and we can somewhat get it off of the most of it. It's still really wet. I've seen people pull this off in sheets and just flip it. And I don't know how we get to that point because this is still pretty sloppy. But better. Right now I'm just trying to get all this stuff up off the sides. It's still too wet really to wedge. What I'm gonna do, spray it out again with my hands and check it again tomorrow since it's still pretty gross. Alright, well, there you have it. Day 3 for me. Not quite ready. Alright, so it's day 4 and we are finally at a good place here. This clay can be worked with. We can, yes. Yes. It can be gotten off of there. Alright, so I've got my fresh clay ball and I've got a bucket and a trash bag. And I'm going to take this fresh ball of clay and I'm going to go ahead and stick it in this trash bag to store it. So I'm going to put it in here and then I'm going to pull all the air out of it and wrap it up nice and tight so that it stays fresh for when I'm ready to use it again. Wrap it up and stick it in this bucket. Also, another thing, these like twist top lids are awesome. I'm going to link them below because they make everything in life so much easier and I highly recommend them. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you want new art videos, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every Friday at 5:30. Next time I'm going to be making a video on testing the different surfaces that you can recycle your clay on. I use plaster this time, but you can also use concrete, hardy backer board, or just plain old wood. So I'm going to use all 4 and see which one works out best. And I will see you next week with that video.